Get ready for the final round. Match in overtime.
Team there ties the game. Are you a betting man, Harry?
You assume I favor one side over the other. You know me better than that, Sam. Besides, I left my wallet at home.
Attackers, prepare for insertion. Team mirror to the map. Team Ash has breached the map.
Joker, now.
Roger. Let's go fishing.
Good to go, Jordan.
Copy that.
Three attackers remaining.
Callie, I need cover! We're pinned down, Callie! Get us out of Callie! What the heck is he doing?
Giving them a clear target.
Come out and play.
Only two attackers remain. Two defenders remain on the map. Team Ash wins.
Something tells me that didn't come out of the playbook.
Not in our playbook, anyway. Something tells me this fight ain't over.
To be able to react quickly, you must remove unnecessary variables from the equation. Emotion for one, as well as the fear of consequences. Good reaction time and
Instinct can't be bought.
that won't
Rocat. Experience precision.
Tango in my sights.
Now it's time for New Belt Nitro Signal! And he fell for it! He's looking to give coverage for his teammate, right? Can he lock it down? Yes, he can, but the swing's in. Triple for Apple. Shaq! No time! Pun has to swing in. Jordy's pulled up. He's on it! Around!
Camera in position!
Get behind me!
Tango located!
Hostiles in sight!
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We head into the final week of play here in the Rocat LPL Pro Rainbow Six Season 1 Cthulhu. We are locked in for the top four, given the announcement made before the broadcast. Unfortunately, Antic not being able to field a roster tonight. We are locked in for top four. Now it comes down to seeding. So we do get to have a bit of fun tonight.
Oh yeah, we do get plenty of fun tonight, and honestly, I'm quite excited to see who will be able to claim the top end of the playoffs bracket, purely for the fact that, well, in general, the leaderboard itself has been rather unusual on the results.
Yeah, look, we started off with 8 teams, we whittled it down to 7, and by the end of tonight, we will have just 4, of course. Top 4 make it into the best of 3 format, the semi-finals. From there, they make it into the grand finals, a best of 5 to see who takes away the main chunk of change in that prize pool. Of course, $3,000 in total. First walks away with 12, second with $900. Third and fourth both get $450. That's gamer money right there.
Quite a fair bit of the gamer money indeed. Yeah, plenty of those monies can be used to acquire that digital drip as well with those esports skins within Siege. And, well, honestly, majority of the R6 share skins looking kinda nice.
And they were just recently on sale with the major as well. So I think they still are at the moment. So make sure, if you at home as well want to get yourself involved, we have an R6 credit giveaway. 2,400 in total. Make sure you tweet at LPL_R6S using the hashtag you see on your screen and tell us what your favorite change in the upcoming Operation Vector Glare is going to be and what you're looking forward to most, of course. Tell us why, and you could win yourself 2,400 R6 credits. That's a decent. That's a decent.
solid.
I mean, there's some old skins in there that might be heading away soon.
That's like worth of 2 sets of the skins as well. But look, we already have a really good contender for that giveaway. Shout out to Logic. Favorite upcoming change is the Fink LMG. No, my bad. Sorry, it's the glass buff that allows me to run in with a 3-speed DMR and a bearing 9. The crouch nerf is kind of rough for me as I rely on that, but maybe it will expand my gameplay. Look, I mean, understandable. And I mean, the crouch nerf is a little bit of an unfortunate result, but look, at least Logic could still fiend it on the 3-speed now glass, which probably will feel like Ash on just steroids.
Yeah, I mean, he said he was excited for his match tonight. We saw him tweet that out earlier. But look, let's get into last week's highlights and see how we found ourselves here. Last week, the game of the evening, Altered Zelios coming in, having had their Weet-Bix to take down Underground Esports Club, and boy, did they put on a show.
Oh yeah, look, they absolutely put up quite a showcase here. I mean, yeah, Theme Park was just a roller coaster of emotions, from shotgun wrap-ups to absolute rushes onto the side. And look, I mean, Underground looked completely toothless, really, in their matchup against Altered Zelios, and Benzuka, the man himself, was just absolutely fiending.
Yeah, so is Camper on the night. He sort of went 1 for 1 of those spawn peaks, and we even got that lovely hot hatch drop. 5 members of 1620 Kings entered the building, and they were dead in moments. Unfortunately, all 5 of them were wiped almost instantaneously, courtesy of Campo getting involved with that Nitro Cell. Campo, though, like I said, he went 1-on-1. He was great on the initial spawn peak, and then Physics absolutely clapped his cheek. So he was knocked out entirely. Physics not completely without his own mistakes in the matchup. But it was a great match across the board. Unfortunately for 1620 Kings, they couldn't pull it all the way back.
Yeah, look, I mean, they started a really good comeback play, really, especially on their defense. The Kavera plays of Chef Jeff that you can see on your screens as well has been rather phenomenal, and it worked out almost perfectly well. But yeah, unfortunately, just didn't have enough juice to keep on pushing forward on and on. But I gotta say, 1620 Kings still managed to put up quite a great fight. It was still a very entertaining matchup to see, but at the end of the day, yeah, Team 7 managed to really take it all in their hands. And look, it kind of ended up putting themselves rather nicely on the top of the leaderboards. First place currently.
Casilla, I mean, the thing that absolutely blows my mind. Yeah. Altered Zelios currently in second, looking to lock in first. Actually, no, that's unfortunately, I don't think they can, given Team 7's forfeit win tonight already. But Altered Zelios locking in top 2. That's huge. Odium there as well. In fact, all those top 4 are locked in. It is now down to the seeding. Wins tonight could shuffle that up going into playoffs.
Absolutely. Yeah, look, I mean, with Underground, they're still in that 4th position. They could still grab themselves a nice third, if not maybe 2nd place as well, to really play it all out. But honestly, there's the playoffs bracket is still looking rather nice and volatile, apart from, I believe, the 1st place.
Well, before we even get to the playoffs bracket, we've got 2 matches to go this evening. Of course, Team 7 having picked up the forfeit win against Antic. Next, though, we are going to be jumping into match 1 in just a moment. Vodafone Warriors versus Altered Zelios. The first time we've seen the Warriors in just a little while. They've had a couple of forfeits this season and a couple of forfeit wins. And then our match of the day, potentially the season, is going to be Oceania Esports taking on Underground Esports. The 2nd place team out of Oceania Nationals taking on these up-and-comers who have really upset this stage.
Absolutely, yeah. Look, Underground Gaming took the LPL Pro scene by absolute force, and look, it was a rather interesting storyline for themselves. On the side of Odium, look, a roster that took the national scene by absolute force, but in the context of LPL Pro, had a bit of a shaky performance. But honestly, I am very much keen for both of these matchups because, again, we, I believe, still get to see the opportunity for Altered Zelios to show their teeth.
Well, whether or not they can show their teeth, we'll have to see. Let's get on into it, though. The first team in this matchup being the Warriors, though. Vodafone Warriors coming in hot and heavy in this stage. Unfortunately, haven't quite found the traction they would have wanted. But Trish, Sean, Boff, Jordo, and Culture are coming in tonight. There is every possibility they end the season on a high and still take a win tonight. Absolutely, yeah. There's still a chance for this very thing to happen. But
unfortunately for them, they don't have Bob today. The person who, on the majority, and I say this like majority missing like 1 or 2 matchups, he was the big person to actually perform for Warriors in tandem with either Sean or Culture. So without him, it might end up being a little bit of a rough end, but Triss, the recent introduction, has been seeing some pretty decent few moments, really, in this lineup. So there is still hope, and very much a very healthy hope.
Well, unfortunately for them, they're versing a very activated and very hot-looking Altered Zelios at the moment. The man, the myth, the teabag bandit himself, Banana, coming in tonight. Mackenzie, Rice, Fakers, and Snip. Unfortunately, no KT. Unfortunately, she was sick. And Altered Zelios had some words to say about it. Unfortunately, she won't be playing. But, I mean, Banana last week had some of the most impactful kills we saw on Theme Park. Mackenzie coming back into this roster, the man, the myth. He thrives in the chaos. He loves it all. Rice there as well, and then Fakers and Snip, of course, around it. This is... I mean, you've gone from a team who, in the last year, was finishing bottom 2 to a team who is absolutely on the rise.
Oh, yeah, 110%. And they're a team that still kind of poses themselves as a team that's just here to have fun, to play it out. And so they are a very dangerous entity, to say at the very least, purely for the fact that they just playing as if they don't care, really. And that's the beautiful thing, the way how they've performed themselves, the way how they've been playing. The playstyle has been extremely difficult to read it, and for teams like Underground, who has been kind of striving on finding those patterns, none were found, really, last week.
Well, I mean, they may not care too much, but we do. Let's have a look at the players we care about most going into this matchup, because they could be the most impactful for the Warriors. It's Shont, the man. He's the front man for this team. He speaks quite well. He knows. He is incredibly aware, incredibly grounded in the Vodafone Warriors and their situations competition. And then Banana.
Yeah.
The teabag bandit.
Yeah, we have kind of 2 polar opposites of the same stick. Both are the leaders of their teams, but on one end, Shont being the kind of the diligent.
I wouldn't say Banana, Banana leader, social media manager.
Kinda leader, yeah. We'll call it in a very big parentheses in there. But whereas for Banana, the chaos man himself. And there's no better way to really describe this. The man, if there is a way to completely chalk the mental, whether it's of his team or the enemy team, he'll do it in plenty.
Yeah, look, at least he isn't going to be the one team killing KT tonight. She doesn't have to worry about that.
True.
Let's go into the map vetoes, though, and see where our first map of the day is going to be played. We see some of your usual suspects off the board. No Theme Park. Altered Zelios not wanting to go back there. They will take us to Cafe Dostoevsky. And... how long? What do you reckon? Because how many rounds before we see one or both these teams outside the building?
Oh, if we're talking about outside the building, I'm thinking first round. I'm thinking straight off the bat, we are sending it. The concern here, Panda, is from Warriors. We've seen only 1 appearance of Cafe. Do you know who it was?
I can't remember, honestly.
Team 7.
Of course it was,
Do you remember what was the scoreline versus Team 7?
It was brutal, I know that much.
It was 7-2.
Yeah.
So for Warriors, not particularly the best kind of pick, not the best kind of idea to go there. But on the side of Zelios, I believe we actually haven't even seen at all any of the Cafe. Oh, wait, pardon me, against 1620 Kings that was lost by them in overtime. So theoretically, it is a map that is relatively knowledgeable for both of the teams, but they yet to acquire a win on it. So look, take it as how you want it. This is, in my opinion, bound to be a very close matchup that we could absolutely see to the blown away to the full.
Well, let's blow it away. Let's get on into it, of course. Cafe Dostoevsky, our first map of the day. The chaos, will it be there? Will it be thriving? Will it be Altered Zelios taking an early lead? Or will Vodafone Warriors keep themselves cool, calm and collected, grounded, coming into this matchup and take the lead for themselves? We won't know until we get into it, but we do have the operator bands up first.
Absolutely. Yeah, look, I'm quite curious to see if there's going to be any sort of changes, differences, assuming that there may be some sort of a nerf towards Banana's play, or maybe on Valkyrie is going to come around. But something across the lines of maybe a Thatcher Flores could be banned out. It could be big, but again, remains to be seen.
But who? I don't know who Boff is referencing there, but obviously. Yeah. Maybe it's Butt from Women's League. She plays for Vertex, a bit of a fiend herself, so maybe, I don't know, who knows. Don't do it, Boff. Thermite!
Okay.
The first ban this time Alton Zelios taking something. Like we did say, they thrive in the chaos, and that is chaotic in its nature.
I mean, yes, but at the same time, one would have been probably benefited more from banning somebody like an Ace rather than a Thermite, given the fact that how many times Ace has been picked. But alas, well, Osa and Thermite are the two attacker-sided bans, and Osa, though, does make sense to be banned out.
Oh boy!
Oh my, okay, right. We are full sending it. Okay, with Warriors banning out Frost, that is your basically straight off the bat breach entry prevention gone completely through the windows.
Yeah, I mean, oh my lord! All right.
Hey.
Boff trying to bait the rehost out. It was the tech pause last week being taken by Alton Zelios for a bathroom trip last week. But I mean, look, in the situation, Alton Zelios, they have everything to gain from this matchup. They have everything to lose. Warriors, absolutely none of that pressure. They don't really need to care too much. They are going to be going into that bottom 4 relegations, unfortunately. So I think maybe if they wanted to play for seeding, they could. But I mean, it's fine. We could play. Want to have a bit of fun.
Yeah. We already have one of the players from Warriors DC, so that is rather unfortunate. But I mean, we get that.
They wanted to make it fair.
Yeah, true, absolutely. But look, I mean, I gotta say though, on the side of Alton Zelios, I'm kind of curious about this lineup. A Valkyrie, Jaeger, Alibi, Warden, and Mute for kitchen service and cooking. So no Kate to deny obviously the breach. So first of all, actually, matter of fact, let's instill this first. Let's kind of make sure that we're on the same page. Alton Zelios are not looking to play this as a conventional or meta way, by the way. So without Cade, obviously, yeah, look, things are going to look a little bit dire. Mute will make things easier. Smokes, actually, I mean, against the Ying, I dig that. That's a decent idea, the Warden pick. Oh, you know what? All of my analysis, let's chuck that out into the window. Sean's pick pretty much solidifies that.
And we've had a rehost called. It was joked, but it will be a rehost called. The mouse bug, unfortunately. So unless we can get that fixed, we will be unfortunately. I wonder how much of this Cthulhu is Ben picking the Warden, so he can get the MPX, because unfortunately Mackenzie's stolen the Valkyrie.
That is true. That is true, but we'll see how much that would actually impact. I mean, theoretically, if you're talking about the loadouts of just plain guns, Warden's loadout is much more flexible. I mean, you have the SMG-12, you have the MPX with the magnification, plus the C4, same as Valkyrie, and you have the ability to basically negate the effects of the flashbangs and smokes. So it's a pretty versatile kit just for personal use, albeit you're not really bringing anything to the team. And I think in terms of Banana's kind of dedication to Alton Zelios, that pretty much aligns pretty well.
Yeah, unfortunately, Banana, Warden, the only thing he's missing is the ability to deny frag grenades, but we feel like maybe that'd be a bit overpowered in this matchup, of course. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a shift away from what you'd expect from a defense of the first floor. So it reads into some, I would imagine, a lot of vertical play. They could probably send 2 or 3, if not 4 players upstairs, and then have, I would imagine, the Mute, the poor bloke, he is sitting on the site by himself with a shotgun, hoping for dear life that his team gets the work done. Yeah. But, I mean, everything is screaming off-site play.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Albeit having the Warden already sitting around the bakery front doesn't particularly really help with that very statement.
Newly changed Warden as well, remember.
True. But apart from that, yeah, look, I'm definitely quite curious to see. I'm sad to see no smoke, because that will complicate things once you try to hold off the actual push onto the site. And Mute doesn't particularly have a whole lot of flexibility in that regard, minus like just a singular C4. And then it's just only purely the gunfights. But apart from that, honestly, it's just maybe later down the line, maybe a Clash pick could have been big.
Speaking of Clash and later down the line, we have something exciting coming your way. Clash Royale is coming. Tune in 10th of June, LPL Pro Clash Cup, live on twitch.tv/LPL Play. And look, not to leak anything, but we've heard some rumours about who might be jumping on for the broadcast, and you guys are in for an absolute treat, so make sure you check it out. Right now, though, look, we are moments away from getting into the map, and Cafe, Vert Play, cheeky angles,
all of that.
I'm expecting some spawn peaks as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The runouts, spawn peaks, I'm assuming it is going to be Banana to do that. given the man's audacity. Maybe actually Mackenzie might back him on that, but the rest of the team, yeah, I'm a little bit dubious in that regard. But I'm more so questioning how prepared are Warriors for all this absolute chaos galore, because, I mean, they've already got to experience, a very organized play from some of the other teams. They now get to pose essentially against, they have to throw out all of their previous experiences and just say, okay, well, we're back to basically playing this as if it's a one-life team deathmatch.
No, exactly. I'm expecting a lot of frag potential. I'm expecting a lot of aggression. And, yeah, look at the Warriors lineup already. There is potential for the attack repick, so there is potential for that to change. But it's Cafe. Send it. Full send it.
A disgusting lineup from Warriors, my goodness. A Ying, a Lion, a Nook, a Maru, and Sledge. So you not only have the potential of completely losing out your vertical game with the frag grenades and the sheer abundance of the flashbangs, have the Lion to track you, Nook that doesn't generate any sound whatsoever at this point, and in Amaru that there's a 50% chance of a coin flip where when you're rappelling in through the window, you don't generate any sound. Purely shout out to the audio engine as well of Rainbow Six Siege. So, yeah, look.
Fun things coming Operation Vector Glare.
Yeah, Operation Vector Glare could actually bring in quite a lot of very neat things and neat tricks.
They've stuck it out. They've stuck everything out. You got the armor, you got the Nook, you got the Lion. There's a Thatcher in play, and that Ying as well. Someone is going to be unable to see for at least half a round.
Interestingly enough as well, no Sledge, so that got swapped over to a Thatcher. And understandably so that Triss could become that very hard breacher, I guess, due to the fact that actually nobody else can really go in for the breach. Quick entry, all nice and clear.
Oh boy. Fakers.
Wakey. Already on the case, ready to frag out. Nobody's actually on the second floor, but there is presence on the top floor as well, and, well, full-blown knowledge of the presence is there. Mackenzie might just be able to throw a spanner in the work.
This is there for Ben if they do go for the utility dump, and it will come out. Candela's popped, but he's still good. Do they swing it? They've got to now, and the peak is going to be good for... Actually, no, it was stolen by Snip there in the end with that MX4 Storm, but the power of the glass has already shown themselves here on Cafe.
Yeah, perfect timing, perfect usage, and the perfect counter as well. Completely ridding of that pushing potential, but that said, Snip out of the equation, Alibi gone, in comes the flank. Oh no, the damage dealt, but not enough. Culture also gets the better of Rice as well. Fake does find the trade. Can he back away? He does actually, with only a single bullet grazing him.
How did he get out of that? My lord. Ducking, diving, dipping, and dodging. 2 versus 3. Defense have the tools, the utility. 3 Nitro cells in play, not to mention some insane information gathering potential. Jordo and Culture. Nitro deep into VIP. Unfortunately, not deep enough to confirm the kill. 1 piece of utility off the board with a minute 17 remaining. That might come back to bite them. Unfortunately, long angle onto Culture will tag him up a little bit, but not enough to find the kill.
Yeah, there is a potential from a swing from Mackenzie, and already finds the shot. No, that actually lands onto Culture. That's big. Another swing comes around. Can he find the shot? No, it's Benzuka to wrap it all up. First round, rather convincingly, to be taken into the hands of Walter Delius.
My lord, what is it that's... What is it that was on Ben's charm? Something kick-ass. Yeah. Look, he does that. He does that quite well, actually. We got to see that phenomenally last week, and oh boy, if he sticks this pick out, he's going to be doing just that.
Oh, yeah, but Zuka could actually throw in a huge spanner in the works of Warriors if they continue to pull the same kind of push. Yeah, the vertical play could be rather huge as well if he gets to stick around the train and machinery. And that's usually where you would see Pulse, especially playing around the top floor site to help defend the piano room. But apart from that, a rather curious lineup. And yeah, the mirror pick as well could be quite fun as well, given that she basically gets the whole freezer as her playground.
Oh boy. Not to mention, yeah, look, I mean, this setup is entirely baity. Like, that's what it feels like. It's like, come on, push us. It'll be fine. Don't worry. Don't worry at all.
Oh, it's an M1014 as well from Banana.
The MT Jack special here.
Yes,
Far
sir.
out. I remember the first time I got to witness that on this map as well.
Yes.
You want to know how long ago it was? 6 Masters qualifiers. That's how long ago it was.
It's been a while, yeah.
You love to see it every time it goes. Oh my no. Small bake window. If he can find a pick here, that's going to be crippling to the mental.
He wouldn't need to stand actually by just the corner to actually be able to spot. Unfortunately, Rice just gets absolutely fragged out, but it's always usually par for the course. Oh, Banana. Oh, Banana. Oh, Banana. No! No, completely flogged it. Oh, that's tragic.
Anything that could go wrong did go wrong. Murphy's Law at its finest, and even Faker's a little bit upset. Snip, unfortunately, DC's Faker's with the secondary. Given that he's running the M590, well, that's his long distance threat, and will find the kill because of it. Finds a second. Culture to fall. This position on Cocktail is huge. Jordo for a third, and Faker's single-handedly digging in his heels to deny the push.
Just like that, a 1v2, even after Snip disconnects, keeps Altadelius running, and Fakers, my goodness, he's a beast with that gun.
Yeah.
Oh, that was way too satisfying to watch. The way his gun barely moved when he was spraying. That is, considering how much recoil SMG-12 has, it is actually an admirable way to score yourself any sort of street cred at this point.
Do I want to talk about the min-maxing? So you've got Banana kicking the round off, looking the wrong way into a Claymore. And then you go from that to Fakers absolutely demolishing this push from the attack. Mackenzie there to assist as well. Bolts to come out to cover. Fakers will be pushed off the angle, but look at that, the holes that he's been given. Oh, that bolt might just be the play. No, Mackenzie, that's your nitro cell, buddy.
No.
That's a mistake and a half. Fakers from long range can't do it. Triss might be able to clutch up here. Mackenzie is going to have to redeem himself if they want the round for themselves. And Triss lurking, hunting. Wants to find the kill and redeem his team here after that unfortunate flurry of deaths at the hand of Fakers and his SMG-12. Just peek in the corners, has the long range advantage. Mackenzie, unfortunately, running that vector is limited to just the hollow right now. And you just look at the angles, look at the positions that he could be. It's a ring around the rosy. And Tress second guessing himself in this push, wants to commit to the site, but doesn't know at all where Mackenzie is.
Not at all. Mackenzie has to basically hide for the time being, just wait for the push and wait for the sound cues to happen. Ready? Oh, the push has been spotted out. Oh, in comes the swing! Just nearly missing out on the opportunity. Mackenzie and Banana as well, just looking absolutely shocked as Fakers nearly just, well, actually, matter of fact, already walked out thinking that it was a throw. Oh my goodness. Oh my.
But the worst part of it was they knew, after the first kill, they knew where Fakers was. They had to. It's the only real position that has a decent angle onto the brown stairs. And then, what do the Warriors do? They push 2 more players right up those stairs, and both of them die. Yeah, that one's going to be a bit haunting.
Oh man. Whew. Alrighty. Well, that was quite a doozy to see from Altadelius, and that's one hell of a way to kick Cafe off. But I gotta say, so far it's been working out quite well. The general kind of swing of things has been nice. Mackenzie decided to say, you know what, you do not deserve the M1014 legacy with the Pulse, so instead get yourself a tin can launcher in form of the ACS-12. So that is going to be appealing your picks as well, Panda.
Gotta love it, the ACS-12, the biscuit tin cannon.
But yeah, apart from that, I'm liking the flexibility that so far Altadelius has been bringing out, because you look at those picks, those are still your comfort picks for each one of the players, and they're still flexible enough that you can play them either anchor or the flexible roam, and they're all kind of playing together in tandem really nicely. You still get your projectile/grenades denial, you still get your info gathering in form of 3 operators, you still get the flexibility of 3 nitro cells as well, and the impacts on the Banana, but I'm kind of discounting Banana here, given that I'm assuming he's still going to die in the first few seconds of the round.
The bizarre thing is, there's just so much information on top of it. You've got 3 nitros, you've got 2 sets of cams, technically 3 if you want to include Mozzie and his drones, plus that cardiac sensor as well. So if Honestly, if they miss a Nitro Cell here, I'll be absolutely baffled. Triss taking some damage, but the retreat comes. Do they know that there are two players in this position? Snip gets some huge damage down, and Jordo just surviving courtesy of the nano boost. Speaking of, Culture swings and clears coat check.
Rather tragic death there for Mackenzie, hoping that the shotgun would work out. Oh no! Oh, Rice got close to losing that out. Snip as well. Phenomenal swing. That does allow Oceania to regain that player advantage, but with Jordo downed and, well, been repacked back up, another gunfight does erupt. Shunt now low on HP as well. This is looking rather dire and rather dicey for Warriors on the attack so far.
2 versus 4 with the health bars the way they are. This is doable for the Warriors. They just need to connect a couple of shots, and I mean, unfortunately, losing Culture and the nano boost is going to hurt them a little bit. But they've got, I mean, look, they've got the utility to clear, but the swing out from Rice, putting Triss on the ground in a very untenable situation, and Snip might even look to capitalise, swinging out through VIP hallway, and they have no idea Faker's there as well. Hits the head, down shot and kills him. Rice will fall. Faker's unfortunately, well, I say unfortunately, he's going to be there. He's going to have support. I thought he was going to go down due to the health, but not to be. Oceania with 3 in a row.
Very nicely done by Oceania so far. A clinical play and just making Cafe as their own kind of playground. So far, it's been really, really nice to see how they, making it work. The only issue being that, that's rather
I don't know if Shant's actually disconnected, because we saw him sit like that for a while. He was able to chat, so it might just be loading.
Yeah, might be hopefully loading. Okay, so it's a Hibana. So Mans needs a bit of an upgrade, maybe, hopefully.
Maybe.
But, I mean, I gotta say, Oceania, they are continuing their kind of momentum that they've managed to acquire last week from Theme Park, and the way how they've been doing it's been absolutely phenomenal. Kind of that continuous roam, that continuous mobility is one of those playstyles that we haven't really seen in particular abundance, especially within the context of LPL Pro. So to see a team like Oceania to manage to perform this and possibly capitalize on their and develop their playstyle further from this, it is a dangerous roster. Put them against any more of the Challenger League teams. I'm betting my money on AZ.
Honestly, it just sets the stage for a very exciting stage 2, of course. And being top 4, it does secure their place in next season of LPL Pro. So, I mean, look,
yes, please.
There's still the opportunity they win the whole thing. Let's be honest with ourselves. There is every possibility they can come through playoffs and win it. But they've got to win here first. It makes it, Sean, unfortunately, on Struggle Street with his PC. But right now, we're getting into round 4. Oceania might just keep the train running.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. With the way how they've been setting it all up, it's been rather nice and clean. Oh, no. Oh, God. There's a Benzuka about to go explosive on his opponents. Spawn Big Galore about to come around, although red into that play with a punch in the doorway, so we'll have to reside back. So from this very position, whenever there was a Ying push, he was able to rather convincingly completely deter it. So won't be surprised if he will be able to counter that once again. But it seems like for Warriors, they're completely opting out of this very play to go for a top-down clear.
I mean, it's a smart play. I mean, you'd be foolish to not clear out from the top down. Culture going to be the first one in. Top red stairs, followed closely on his heels, but it's been Zuka to kick things off, pushing himself up white stairs to kill Boff. That's his sledge off the board. And one of the key elements in any attack onto Kitchen might even find more. He's waiting for the cues, the concussion out. He's going to step up and fade back for a moment, just throwing shots. Nade is about to come his way. Ben, he's going to tank it.
He still manages to keep on walking, decides to completely back away. Mackenzie, meanwhile, off-screen gets the better of Chomp, and still gets to continue to fend it out. Not for long, though. Culture does re-frag him, but already the damage has been dealt in full.
Not irredeemable for the Warriors, luckily. There's every possibility. They find the frags they need to, and they make the play. Unfortunately, there is also still 2 nitro cells here.
Oh, this could be dangerous.
Look at the angles. I mean, Altered Zelios, just chaos incarnate at the moment. Fakers, Nitro onto that Christmas door. Nothing landing, unfortunately. Culture had pulled off the angle. Rice swings, and Jordo absolutely lost looking down the stairs. Will be cut down. Culture and Triss have to step up and make a play here if they want to get themselves on the board, but at a deficit of 2 players, that is unlikely.
Panda, I am loving the bait play so far from Ultazilla as they show only 1 player around the reading, and then the push comes.
Oh no!
Bazooka completely just disrespects the game. A clean headshot, hello, hi, and a 3rd point so far. A 4th point, pardon me. 4th point for Ultazelios. And at this point,
Warriors would like to take you up on that offer. They would like it for Ultazelios to be on only 3 points. But Cthulhu, we are pivoting. We are pivoting in a big way going into our 5th round. And by pivoting, I mean Kavira and Oryx are on the board right now.
Right then.
And this is about to be Rome Game Central.
Oh, it's a Kavira with a Spas 15 as well. Oh, lordy. Yeah, this is going to be either Disrespect Central or just absolute chaos energy channel to the absolute maximus from Ultazelios. And I mean, we've already seen on Theme Park Shevchev to pull out the Kavira to quite a successful amount. I mean, what was it, 2 or 3 almost rounds that were quite rather successful for the Brazilian operator before she got started to get completely shut down. For Warriors, though, very disconnected play. And it's a bit of a, you know, it's a bit of a concerning turnout, albeit this is the last round of the group stage, and theoretically they have been basically locked out of, yes, they are locked out of the playoffs in every shape and form. Whereas Antic, sorry, not Antic, pardon me, what am I doing? What am I saying? Antic already also out, yeah. So at this point, honestly, the repercussions from either one of these 2 teams losing out, not a whole lot, but for Ultazelios, they get to have fun.
Rice is looking for it, and Boff might be the one there to receive. Info going. Is there anything at all to... Oh, no, he's waiting for the repel instead. Boff, he could be in a world of hurt if he's not careful, but no, it's red into... The drones must have been there, and all Rice is eating is a frag grenade to the face.
Nothing like a bit of a shrapnel in the face. Won't really help with a little bit of a remodeling of the face, but... Oh yeah, there's that drone as well. Perfect. Thank you, Sky, by the way.
Boff's as well.
Yeah.
It was his own drone. He knew.
Very nice. Look, I mean, I gotta say, it's been so far a really decent start for Warriors. Again, though, with Banana out of the equation and then that run out not particularly really working out, well, it all leaves to, well, the actually good players. Fakers and Snip, as the rest of the Scrub Lords already go and, well, died out. Snip about to go for another swing, but does reveal his position, so now his gunfight is going to be kind of almost on equal standings, but wait, where did that X-Kairos go?
Christmas door, the Christmas wall at top red, I think, I believe. And oh my lord, all of a sudden we're equal back again. Faker's getting aggressive, Snip as well. Spray through the wall from Snip. The info is good. Mackenzie relays it, and Snip will drop the even play count to a deficit for the Vodafone Warriors.
What in the heck happened there, Warriors? You had such a great start and completely forfeited it.
Oh, Snip!
No! Snip, you cannot do this like that to the Warriors. It's a 5th point for you boys.
Absolute robbery. A team that, I mean, Challenger League, they were there, they showed up, they didn't quite crack top 4. But LPL Pro, this is their playing ground. They are having fun, they are dominating, they are looking to absolutely stamp their mark on this tournament.
Snip. Disgusting player and disgusting way of winning this out, but my goodness, was it clean. Wait, that makes no sense. Disgusting player, but still
Disgustingly clean.
Disgustingly clean, yes. Thank you, Blue Panda.
Take it, we stand it. But you know what's even more disgusting? Mackenzie in the Boss G.
Yeah, that could be getting rather spicy. I mean, look, leaning into this full swing is great and all, and that's a phenomenal turnout, but look, in a 4-3 with a Boss G, I suppose we'll take it, but SMG-12 is still there in play, and we know that Mackenzie is an able gamer regardless of the weapon. But I gotta say, highlight players already, Fakers and Snip. just that deadly duo. No matter that, Banana could die. Rice, look, it's expected at this point. Poor man just gets dunked on by pretty much everyone, including his teammates. Mackenzie
Fakers
just needs to get good.
and Snip are collectively 14 and 2 right now.
Yep.
They are. Oh boy, Banana. He's tucked in. He's on the ground, letting poor Fakers do all the work.
Maybe he's just laying there. Maybe he's like quickly grabbing something from the kitchen, but just using just pressing a key just to move a little bit so he doesn't get timed out.
This is a team who took a tack break last week to go to the bathroom.
True.
So don't think for a moment that they wouldn't hesitate to use a tack pause so Banana can go and get something. 30 seconds into the round, no one has died to a Boss G spawn peak. Boff, though, has died to the MX4 storm of Snip, who, despite having some minor technical issues throughout this match, is an absolute powerhouse.
Oh, yeah. Snip has been a rather dangerous entity, but so is Culture. Very nice, clean swing, does get rid of any sort of presence in the piano, and that already acquires quite a fair bit of ground. Triss gets a knife onto Snip as well, which is rather unfortunate, and well, already the cleanup gang is coming around. Rice, turn! Rice, turn! No, that's not how you do this, but that's all down to Fakers all of a sudden. 1v4, can the man do this?
I'm so confused. Where was Triss that he was able to get a knife kill onto Banana? Banana was behind the couch last we saw. Fakers from mining has a lot of work to do. We've seen him pick up the multi-frags before. They have an idea though. Jordo does seem to know, and yeah, the drones as well feeding on through. Prismo going to reveal some locations as the plant is going down. Fakers is going to have to make the play right now. Jordo just absolutely has every idea that this is where he's lurking. Head just on the other side of the wall. No, unfortunately, Jordo tucked in too tight. Will secure Vodafone Warriors their first point.
Finally, at least getting on the board, Warriors are, but they still have a 4-round differential that they have to completely close out. So, not particularly the most ideal kind of turnout so far. So, one would hope that they will be able to gain it back on the defense. And as for the attack of the Ortodelius, I'm curious. I'm curious what they could do because the defense has been an absolutely fiend fest for the two of their players. But the attack has been kind of a bit so-so on a couple of the occasions. So I'm not yet completely confident in the attack, but again, I might be just proven wrong right here, right now, if this whole round plays out in their favor. But the lineup that they are bringing, disgusting in all shape and form. A Ying, a DKB, a Lion, a Maru, and a Thatcher. Which, I mean, signals for the fact that it is going to be painful to deal with completely, and I think as pardon me now instead of the Ying. So boost up, acquire all the information, and then swing. And I buffed up a Maru on the Thinker buff. It's kind of scary.
Jacked up, cracked out on the G Fuel, and ready to go. 5 seconds remaining here in the prep phase, going into the second half with the 5-1 lead is pretty all right, if we're being honest with ourselves. Unfortunately, it does happen on Cafe, which, I mean, at the moment, it tends to lean more towards that attacker side, but only really just slightly at the moment. So I can imagine that I'll tell you as well, already we hear the, okay, that doesn't work, but all right. He somehow managed to avoid kicking the back, but he's going to drop the hatch. Mackenzie, he's got support. They're in. It's another rush. This time it's far more successful. Triss dead. Boff in trouble. The plant going down. Fakers to fall. So does Rice. But the plant will continue covering the double. Mackenzie's there watching it, but it's 2. Somehow Boff gets the nitro off despite being dead. Actually, sorry, it wasn't Boff. It was someone else that was dead there. It was Culture that was dead. There we go. Okay, so the nitro's still successful. Unfortunately for Ultratelios, the rush plays out the exact same way it did last week.
That nearly worked out, though. That was still a relatively close play. Apart from that C4 that did land under the feet of AZ players, everything else was working out rather well. And so, well, maybe in later down the line iterations, maybe during the playoffs, we could be seeing a polished way of, I suppose, rushing the side. But look, a 2-5 scoreline is still very much workable for Ortodelius. On the side of Warriors, though, this is a good kind of boost to their morale, I suppose. Getting themselves back into the swing things. Only now 3 rounds to really try to shorten up and to win out in their favor. And there's still technically a round buffer for them to play around should they need it, because, well, whilst the match point is not going to be preferable, it still does allow the play to continue for Vodafone Warriors.
Well, The armor is there again. But we do have a couple of changes. The Fink is still going to be in the hands of Altidelios, this time in the hands of the Ben in particular. They're running the Zombie. They've got the Capitao as well. So I mean, they've got the coverage for a rush plan. What do you reckon? Do we see it again?
Why not? I mean, with the lineup like this, I think they're more so just doubling down at this point, just trying to rid of the sounds of the sight of everything. Culture wants to kind of dabble into the playstyle of Altidelios, but one has only dabbled in this, the others have been almost born in it.
It is not a life choice. It is a lifestyle. Already, though, they're making good grounds up on the rappels. They want to get themselves in a position to punch in onto the third floor and start contesting. Ben, anticipating some sort of run-out action, is trying to cover for the team. Now that they're all successfully up, they can start to rotate and look for information. I think that may have been a team drone kill from Fakers, though, unfortunately.
Not good. Well, Banana already opens up a window, only to get doing directly into the face, into the head. Another one swings and not yet biting the dust. Full push. Wait, Fakers nearly lost that out, and it's a complete chaos 3v3.
Pushing it aggressively as well. They sent the armor in. Rice has dropped the side catch. Caught on the reload. Big kill there on the Culture, but they lose Snip at the same time. Fakers with the secondaries on the hunt. They know where he is. The swing in. Too many angles. And Fakers going to get revenge for Banana with the knife to the back.
That's one way to really do this. And Altidelios, yeah, look, thriving on this chaos, smiles all across the board. Fakers is ahead, starting to hurt a little bit because the man has been pulling his weight, whereas players like Banana kind of just there, you know, for the ride, it seems. Yeah, some muscly shoulders as well, gotta say.
Belt up or shut up. No, two bits about it. You got to get yourself on board and just enjoy the ride as much as you can. 6-2 the scoreline. And Cthulhu, this is exactly the same result that the Warriors suffered last time.
Oh boy, yeah, you are correct, actually. Warriors might get a little bit of a PTSD moment if this does wraps up in a 7-2 scoreline. Same way how they lost up to Team 7. And look, I mean, with the course that Altidelios so far painted for themselves, this is looking like we just might get that rather rapid conclusion to this very map to move us into the second BO1, the final BO1 of the group stage and of the season. And, Panda, I'm not gonna lie, I have discovered some rather interesting details about the upcoming match that would be rather spicy. So for everyone who are getting quite keen for the next matchup of ODM versus Underground, I suggest you stick around because it is going to be
Aussie Princess has finally signed with an OCN team and is playing for Odium.
I mean, not this kind of spice, but I'm sure you'll like it.
Look, always, there is that open spot that has been talked about. Oh, Tressie's going to win it too. Snip, unfortunately, biting off more than he could chew. That's your Jackal off the board. Player deficit. I mean, we haven't even touched on the fact here, Cthulhu, that Ben is bringing out an absolute quintessential pick in the Cthulhu playbook.
Indeed. Well, yeah, the fuse could be rather scrumptious, and I mean, the AK-12 is great, the secondary heart breach devices are great, the fuse hockey pucks are great. So, apart from the fact that fuse is a rather wide specimen, everything else is all pretty much all good in his loadout. Simple fuse charge could also clear out the whole of that landing on the white stairs, but instead we do see the election of Bazooka just rappelling up on the double window of the pillars. Curious.
Fakers doesn't need a drone for him to play entry. He's gonna get the logic bomb off and use that as the info gathering. Rice is down below in pillars looking for information to try and feed through to the team, but it seems that the majority, if not all of the Warriors are upstairs. Fakers finds the first before Ben is traded back aggressively with the MK14. Is it good? It's Boff to fall. Unfortunately, Cultured could not take down Fakers, and we are suddenly, with a minute 20 remaining, now back at the 3-3.
Back at the 3-3, but there was a little bit of a tag damage towards Culture, so next gunfight could be rather problematic. No, I say that, he's absolutely fiending, only to get traded away. 2v2, Fakers and Mackenzie to try to clutch it all out. They would prefer to bring it over the dub their way in 7-2 position, already knowing full well about the positionings of at least one of the players. They don't expect the players in the cocktail. Finds one. Mackenzie about to wrap it all up, and the tag's coming around. Frag grenade in, and he wraps it all up. Mackenzie, 7-2 for Altazelius.
One of the founding members of this team alongside Rice, and they end LPL Pro Group stage with an absolute heater of a win off the back of last week. My God, is there anything these guys can't do?
Oh man, yeah, I don't think there's any way of changing it in any shape or form. 12-3. Oh my goodness, Fakers, you are absolutely a machine when it comes down to fragging. But Panda, Altazelius, they are delivering the content just day in, day out. Last week, Theme Park, one of the best, I'm going to call it right here, right now, the best match that we've seen for the whole season. The highlight of it all. Cafe, the way how they performed, the way how they played it, even in their losing rounds, it was still a gracious way of performing it all.
I mean, it was just absolute domination from start to finish. Fake is stepping up in a massive way. It was just, it was a solid team effort with some massive standout moments from individuals. And I mean, Ben, look, yeah, unfortunate for Culture there to be caught from the backside of things. There is nothing out of the realms of possibility when it comes to this Altazelios team, and it makes you so happy seeing them coming from last year being a team that was perpetually stuck bottom 4 to being this absolute titan of the ANZ scene.
Yeah, from punching bag to the one to be punching, they are a team that is just a dangerous entity, one way or the other, and the one that is impossible to predict as well with how they play. It has been an absolutely phenomenal time watching them perform, and the way how they play it all out, a coordinated chaos team that knows pretty much how to play in a coordinated way, to play in a disconnected way, however you want to call it. Even with a player down and disconnecting, they're just able to bring it all back.
On Cafe with Thermite, Smoke, Osa, and Frostband, and it still came together the way it did. I mean, you got to have absolutely nothing but respect for Altazelios, even for the Warriors. They came in, they played their game today, they gave it their absolute best, and unfortunately, Altazelios, the momentum just cannot be stopped.
Yeah. They are one of the teams that can just keep on chugging on. They're a team that I think on a few rare occasions we got to see them, actually halt their momentum for one or the other reason. Any other time,
self-imposed,
self-imposed, halt of the momentum. Any other time, they're a team that has been just absolutely just continuing to chug on whenever it's possible. But honestly, with that said, we still get the battle of the two Goliaths, I guess, within LPL Pro, in form of Odium and Underground.
And you hinted at the Spice Cthulhu. But right now, we're going to throw it to a break. When we come back, we jump into our final match of the round robin. Odium Esports taking on Underground Esports. We'll see you guys back in a moment.
nothing. Gaming is a great way to do nothing with your mates. Best part is, you can pretend you're in the NBA. Even when you're in your stepdad's garage. How to do nothing. Gaming is a great way to do nothing with your mates. Best part is, you can pretend you're in the NBA. Even when you're in your stepdad's garage.
なぜいつもここに来るんですか？フルーツならデリバリーもできます。お金もあるんですし。
金持ちはただ待っていろと？私をそんな風に見ていたのか。
いえ、でもここは人が多すぎます。
お前は信頼できる子だが、少し肩の力を抜いたらどうだ。でないと大切なものを見落としてしまうぞ。この果物とかね。これを一つ。ヒロ、どうした？震えている。
伏せて。
お。
ここに。
Hello, welcome back. We're looking to head into our final match of the round robin. Coming into the matchup, of course, Odium versus Underground Esports Club. And look, we know how important this matchup, but you know what else is important? Top tier gaming equipment. Rocket provides that as well. Check out their Kony XP gaming mouse. 15 programmable buttons, 29 possible button configurations. It is in stores now, so make sure you go check it out if you are looking for a solid mouse. And speaking of solid, we've got that competition going on. Remember, 2,400 Rainbow Six credits. We've got another tweet. It's from Culture. Unfortunately, couldn't pick up the win, but he might pick up some credits. The change I'm looking forward to is Glaz being a 3-speed and a bearing 9 to boot, making him actually usable for the first time in a long time. That's Cap. He's been usable
Cap and a half
since release.
Cap and a half, yeah, and especially with the thermal scope, I mean, well, the meta doesn't really allow that to happen, but I mean, we've seen Shevjeff fiend it all out, both in sports mode and the zoom mode, so...
Honestly,
I mean,
Culture just needs to play more plane.
No, all I'm just going to say is just skill issue.
Yeah, it's skill cap, indeed. But Odium versus Underground Esports Club, it is gearing up to be the match of the stage leading into the playoffs, of course, as well. Both teams are locked in for playoffs, so they might be facing up against each other in that best-of-3 format later on. But right now, in this matchup, of course...
Battle for seeding.
Yeah, who do you favour?
Considering some of the info and some of the stuff that I've got to see and got teased prior to this very matchup, I'm slowly leaning towards Odium. But again, Underground are still a very dangerous entity.
Well, let's have a look at Odium first. Of course, out of the National League, second place last stage, Sawyer Supremacist coming in. Logic, Edpan, and Twent. Supremacist, he's had a bit of a rough run of it, but if he can find his forever home here on Odium, this roster may have just gotten even scarier.
Look, all I'm going to say, so far in his debut in LPL Pro, Supremacist became the living, utility to defuse the Capcan traps. The man was very happy to take on that role, it seems, and was very proactive in that sort of play. But in all seriousness, he is an absolutely solid player and an absolutely phenomenal fragging player as well. So, yeah, look, switching between him and Shaq, it does seem like quite a bit of a grade. And... look, honestly,
Shaq would like to know your location.
Shaq would always like to know my location, it seems. But look, the man is already retired. Look, enjoy the show, mate.
Their opponents, though, a little bit younger, a little bit hungrier. Underground Esports Club, Majestic coming in, MML, Zuve, Eraser, and JPK. Majestic, we haven't seen since day one of the competition on this roster. They were able to pick up their win against the other team that was in the Nationals at that stage, now unfortunately no longer. But Odium, they're second place in stage 1. That is a far cry from Onami.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Quite a difference between the skill levels of the two rosters from the Nationals. But yeah, against the UG, it's a team that still is very mechanically gifted, is probably the best way to really describe their playstyle. A lot of time when we were talking to them about their strats, about the way how they prepare, it's been namely ranked. Well, at least it does generate a really good chemistry between the players, and the chemistry is the kind of the factor that we have been talking for quite a while within some of the rosters, and the fact that they have been switching players in and out did put this said kind of topic under a very large question mark. But in form of Odium, I highly doubt that chemistry is going to be an issue.
Yeah, look, this matchup is going to be a big one. We know that much for sure. And there are some big players as well. If we want to have a look at our head-to-head and see who those players are, of course, Waylon Lay, Edpan, an absolute demon at the game, has been, I mean, since stage 3 of last year, has been taking dog tags, making names for himself, finding the frags and stepping up this team. On the side of Underground, we got to witness MML play the anchor position. Unfortunately, it wasn't a win, but he played that anchor role spectacularly.
Absolutely, yeah. MML has managed to show and shine some in quite a plethora of different games. And yeah, look, his anchoring playstyle has been, well, giving that extra, I suppose, safe haven for the rest of the team, and having that extra player that can, you know, be that crutch to kind of hang on to if, say, the roam game does fail. Is certainly a great boon for the team as well. So there's a great variety of things that have been looking up for Underground, and once they do reach the age of 18, all of them, I reckon going into either Challenger League or even the Nationals, they could be a pretty dangerous roster.
And look, coming into this matchup, of course, we need a map to see where we're playing things out. Of course, in Cthulhu, before we came live off the break, you had some interesting stats regarding this map.
So, interestingly enough, for Odium, this map, Oregon, has been the only one that they've actually managed to cop the wins, and rather convincing. 173s across the board. whereas on the side of UG, it was only once played, and it was played against, I believe, if my memory serves me right, it was against Antic, no, not Antic, pardon me. I think it was actually against Warriors, yes, and it was a 7-4. But whereas for Underground, they have only once showed it. Well, Odium quite consistently were able to show that they are very knowledgeable on this map that has been, or basically became already the staple of APAC, the staple of ANZ. So in sort of terms of that, I'm still putting my favorite towards Odium. Given that they're just a team that has experienced just a plethora more of those playstyles, whereas for Underground, it's been kind of a reoccurring thing where if they are continuing kind of the pattern playstyle where it's only just the ranked gameplay where they just stick to one strat or two strats, they can be easily played around. And AZ were able to demonstrate that. Odium might just be able to do that. Team 7 as well managed to do that very same thing and just completely outfrag them. So there is definitely possibilities for Odium to completely yoink away the last final win and completely deny any progression on the seedings. But Underground also managed to show some really good performances. JPK, Eraser has been the big highlight players, like we just talked before, MML as well. So the whole roster of UG could still bring back the heat at the Odium.
I mean, Odium has made a name for itself on this map, not just here, of course, but in the Nationals as well. As we jump on it to the map, can Underground upset, take one final victory in this round-robin competition? Will Odium secure themselves as the Oregon team to beat going into the playoffs?
Exactly that. Look, very curious to see how will this all evolve. For Odium, it's been a bit of a rough time, but given that all of the competitions bar LPL Pro have all wrapped up, this is the one where they need to focus up. This is where they could really find themselves a really nice matchup. If they do keep themselves at third place, this is a good spot to really find themselves in, given that they get to play against, I believe, Team 7, actually.
Well, operator bans with Odium starting on the defense, and Odium on the defense. That's a pretty terrifying prospect. But I mean, this map, at the moment, the most 50-50 map in the competitive pool globally. So it is anyone's guess how this one plays out. But Odium will kick things off with a Jackal ban.
Okay. Odium on the Jackal ban could be rather curious. Too sure I couldn't find the actual operator ban. So far though, it seems relatively all standardized. Jackal, Thatcher, it's all normal. A bit of a memes from the text chat as well. And honestly quite curious how will maybe the defense bans could come out, because with Mira out, I'm assuming Valkyrie could be the next one. If it's a Cade though, that could mean a bit of a problem for the defense, regardless whether it's Odium or Underground, given that the vertical denial of the breaches will be completely lost. Instead, it's a Capcan.
Yeah, look, I don't know if investing a single ban to try and keep Supremacists alive is worth it.
I mean, at least
they're making him feel welcome.
Yeah, at least he's being felt welcome. At least the mental won't be chalked. And yeah, look, I mean, it's still a decent idea to ban out if the Capcan has been a recurring issue. Curious to see, what could be done now, given that, okay, well, Valkyrie and Cade are back on board, so that's a lot of flexible gameplay allowed now for the defense. And in tandem with that, whenever we do switch over to the second half, Underground, with the Valkyrie in play, could utilize a lot of that utility.
Well, right now we're getting things underway, and I'm curious, Cthulhu, what do you reckon? Is it truly Sawyer season?
Quite possibly. I mean, the man was able to do pretty much everything. He could be the anchor. He could be the absolutely mad fragger. Or just be a support player. The man that can do
historically
everything.
The joke has been if Sawyer's fragging, something's going wrong.
It's the same as with Autozillas. The moment you see Rice on the top of the leaderboard, something is a bit of an issue. But I mean, that myth has been dispelled in the last week, I believe, where Rice was able to perform, and well, Autozillas were able to still come out with a dub.
I mean, to be fair, Odium have sort of, got rid of that, that dark cloud as it was. so far as well. I mean, Saya had a number of very impressive Nationals performances this year, and I'm sure he's got more ahead of him. Right now, though, Logic lurking. We talk about powerhouse plays from Sawyer. Logic, in the improvements that he's had on this Odium roster, if Underground are not careful, Odium might crack that kill record again.
Absolutely. Very curious how will this very round start things off, because a very kind of spread out push so far from Underground. Not really taking this as aggressively as we've grown accustomed to see them take it. But already very similar signs already being seen. MML on the Finca, Razor on the LMG of Zafia. So it's all kind of par for the course. I'm curious how Majestic will be able to, pose himself, given the fact that he's only the Thermite and not the Maverick. But a roam game from Odium is still very close to heart. No expansions towards the tower, no expansions towards the top floor. It's all very much close to sight, which kind of, I would imagine, in the later stages, in the later rounds, could mean that Underground could really much more effectively take the ground floor and much quicker.
I mean, already the problems are presenting themselves. The only hatch that is currently contestable is the one in Freezer, courtesy of those cave claws, unless... Actually, no, I was going to say unless they got Survey on the job, who was hovering the Maverick, no longer having that Maverick in play, rather than Hibana. So this could end up being a force down one of the conventional avenues in Supremacists. Who would have thought Capcan ban was all he needed to unleash?
Beast mode from the get-go, and with an AUG 8-3 nonetheless. A gun that you wouldn't generally see, a player pop up with, but that was a crisp, clean headshot. Now Majestic, in tandem with the Razor's drone, will be seeing Sawyer's position. Is it knowledgeable that Supremacist is also there? In comes the swing, prone position, fragged out, perfect lineup. Another one knows, another one bites the dust. That's Supremacist going ballistic, that's a finisher. Another one, give us another one going for another swing. Instead it's Sawyer to frag out another one, and 1v5, 0v5, Odium with a heater of a round from the get-go, flawless.
Like I said, who would have thought? All you needed to do was ban the Camp Cannon. Supreme looks absolutely stoked playing on this Odium roster. He's definitely feeling like he's come into a world unto his own as we head up to dorms in the second round. But that is a statement, a stamp and a half to make on the map. Flawless to kick things off.
I mean, yeah, that's one hell of a way. And then for UG, felt a little bit... How should I properly say it?
Look, Majestic's death sort of summed the round up. Prone in the middle of Freezer with no way to contest.
Yeah, I gotta say, yeah, it felt a little bit odd, the way how Underground really pushed it, because it was kind of a bit of a one-by-one, not a whole lot of coordination, which felt rather awkward is probably the only way to really describe this, given just the fact that previously we've seen them kind of playing in that very kind of bunched up, almost like a grouped up way, where they would be able to pull on, send it onto that one position, almost swarm it, and then, retake the advantage back if they lose one or two players. So maybe it's just the first round jitters, maybe something else, maybe it's not their day, maybe it's just the timing that has been completely off for them. But it's all just one round, so not a whole lot of kind of, I suppose, material to read into. So, well, let's see how will round two really evolve for Odium.
Well, we'll have to see Utility getting set up right now. The Goyo in play for Supremacists could do a lot of work. We've seen just how impactful those Vulcan det packs can be. Eddie as well picking up the Kaid. And Supreme, he's not done just yet.
Droned out already.
No. They haven't droned him out. They're in the corner. He's looking for the fight. Spots the player. Shots off. It's pistol out. He's on the hunt. The reload is going to come through. No! JPK absolutely embarrassed by Supremacists.
C4 is out as well.
Oh my. Go. Send it.
Get it. No, completely missed it. No, the timing, Supremacists.
Look, you can't expect too much from the man. He's already got his opening kill. He's also dead. But look, he's found JPK again. Shut him down 2 rounds in a row now.
Big opener as well. Yeah, Iana out of the equation is huge. Not a whole lot of info gathering from there on out. Apart from it raises maybe stun grenades and the drones, but the drone work from Underground has been looking rather thorough. And I mean, you've seen the sheer abundance of the drones that were there, just dedicated to try to find his position. And whilst Supremacist did manage to find the shot onto JPK, he lost a lot of HP. So a little bit of a careless play from round 2 feels odd from Odium, but again, the confidence maybe getting mixed in with a little bit of ego at some point, but Logic, if he can find a shot here, could be big, but spotted out with a drone means that, well, he has to forfeit that push towards Zulu, but with Majestic out, Eddie kicking things off really nicely, and that's diffuser dropped as well. Oh, that is huge.
Eddie spots the Claymore, but he's not done yet. Tags a Razor on the shoulder, backs himself off, but I mean, the amount of information that he's just picked up for the team is absolutely huge. Sawyer spotted on the drone. They know that that information gathering could be absolutely massive. We'll pull back to the shield deep into dorms right now. But you look at the angles, you look at the positions that Odium are holding, and MML just compounding the losses. It was all defensive. Odium knew they did not need to force, and it is already causing mistakes to show for Underground.
Fortunate already, the push coming in.
Oh,
perfect lineup, Twent as well, finding that opener and making it a 1v4, whilst yes, Razor is able to farm up one frag. Eddie with that swing is just deadly. That's MML getting a little bit, a bit of a sad moment for the man.
Yeah, like Supremacist, as we both know, does not need the help. I mean, 4-1. Nitro Cell is a bit dicey, but gunplay, he's on top of it. He knows exactly what he should be doing. We head down to Kitchen Dining. 2 in a row. Can Odium make it a third?
Quite possibly. Odium could keep up this sort of pressure. Interestingly enough, we do get to see a rather heavy switch into the fragging power of the of the lineup of Underground, and UG players starting to lean into the mental warfare. I like that.
Look, I just don't know if Odium can hear Underground from all the way up at the top, second on the Nationals leaderboard. That's a bit of a way. The clouds get in the way, and yeah, look, your message lost in transit there, guys, unfortunately. Untouchable.
Oh, wait, hold on. Sky, could we have a look at that setup again in the tower by Supremacists? Oh. I shield and a 3-stack of ADSs. What?
Yeah, you know what's going on. You know what's going on. Logic's hungry. He wants to eat up right now. He wants them to contest him. This is about to be a round of ego swings.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm all for it. I'm sold so far on this whole, but look, Odium could still, keep it all nice and spicy. Underground switching over to a Nook and a Buck for a Razor does opt for a little bit more of a flexible approach to the play, a little bit more of that soft breach. Plus, I mean, both of the guns of those two operators are quite rather deadly. And so there's a few possibilities of a play to happen. A rotation has been made in the attic as well. JPK has the possibility
on the drone for a reason.
Yes. JPK on the drone for a reason. MML though, finds that frag. That's the first opener actually for Underground as well, I believe. And that is a big, big opener. Now, a lot of ground on the ground floor has been left kind of under a bit of a question mark, given that, well, rest of Odium looking a little bit scared.
Surely there's no way they can test Logic. The Claymore outside the window. But that is all for the moment. Eddie, pop at a window from Big Tower. If he can find the angle, that would be a huge kill. The utility dump is going to be clean. They will clear the shield out, but Logic is still here. He is still looking to hold this position. MML on for another, finds the kill onto Sawyer. Eddie now realizing he has to retreat back in the drone game, revealing Logic's position, but no one. Oh no! Oh, Logic almost found the scalp. He's looking for it. They haven't been able to connect the shots just yet. The swing again, the Buck there. Razor desperately wants this kill. MML going to be finished off by Supreme, who unfortunately himself will also fall. 2 versus 4, Cthulhu. A minute 15, JPK finally gets some revenge.
That was a clean swing by JPK. Now it's all down to Eddie. The man has been quite a formidable player, but given the circumstances, it doesn't look particularly too good. Eraser, though, disconnecting is not particularly the great position.
Oh, Eddie!
Wings! He's clean with that spray, albeit only a down. Should be picked back up. Majestic is back into the swing, finished off. Oh, Eddie playing with our emotions as well, but JPK does say, okay, hold up, boys, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
The power of the LMGE, Eddie. He's
my heart.
Good at what he does. Unfortunately, not quite good enough to overcome all 4 members remaining. The rehost called, not necessary. We can pause now. The game has come leaps and bounds. And it's, you know, since its infancy, we have the ability to just pause. And Zuve knows that. Oh, Logic! He's throwing the shade.
Logic getting spicy with it as well in the chat. Oh my. Look, I mean, it's still a good time for that. I suppose you could call it, to a certain degree, a pause to come around for Underground as well, to get back into the swing of things, get back into kind of the mental state. Given that, look, a few of those swings, I gotta say, would have been rather quite tilting as well for them, given some of the circumstances and them. Well, if Eddie would have been allowed any more ground, he would have been able to actually reclaim that round, I reckon. So
if it had more health, honestly.
If he had more health, yeah, definitely, 100%. So there's a few possibilities that Underground are not yet on their full footing, but it's still a good time to, you know, talk it all out, have a good chat, get back into the swing of things. Question though from ODM, can they keep up this sort of pressure, is something completely different to really worth mentioning, because look, they had a good job so far for the first 2 rounds. Now, 3rd round has been a little bit sketchy because they've basically been preying on the idea of of just essentially each one of their players on their own position perform. But the moment at least one of them fell, another 2 followed up because of that flank by Nook of MML.
Yeah, I mean, look, UG, they adapt going to the 3rd. They adapt quite well. They were able to get in, play a little bit more aggressively, find those openings, deny the information. It's exactly what they should have been doing from the start. Get in, play the information game, play it better than your opponents, knowing full well that they're not too heavily committed to that mute play. Even the Mozzie hasn't really seen an appearance yet. I mean, we're only 3 rounds in, so it's not that surprising. But, I mean, information is such a big part of this game. If you lack it, you are at a disadvantage.
Absolutely, yeah. Look, game sense, game knowledge will be rather large, and well, seems like for Underground they took a little bit of a brief moment to get themselves composed before they started, you know, bringing back their own points. Inside of Odium, look, back into the swing of things, it seems, for the time being. Introduction of a vigil for Logic is a rather interesting one, but understandable given the extensive drone play from Underground. So to be able to hide yourself from all the info gathering tools could be rather big, but again, Underground has been seen to be able to still be able to, weather that storm.
Yeah, halfway through this defense for Odium, looking to carry on and keep those points rolling. I really do rate the vigil. I love it. I absolutely love it from Logic. Play the misinformation game. It's what we were just talking about. If they can find those positions that aren't droned, even if they are, get through with the ERC, there's just so much damage that he can do.
10 seconds left.
Yeah, look, quite a fair bit of damage could be done. And
5 seconds left.
I'm quite curious how will that really work out. But I mean, as long as he's able to play in tandem with the rest of his team, that should be all relatively workable. Because the rest of the roster of Odium definitely feel more leaning towards just the anchor plays. So Logic may not have a whole lot of support, and well, indeed he won't be. Hold up in the position around the dome main hole. I actually believe he has been completely ignored by the drone.
He wasn't even spotted.
He wasn't even spotted. So Logic is actually in a power position to do the very damage, but nobody actually pushing the top floor. Zuve, second drone in. Just look at the abundance, first of all, of drones coming around. Does Zuve know? Does Zuve check behind the couch? Surely.
No, I think he got the ERC activated in time and he's relocated as well. He's getting himself up onto the bunks and kids' dorms. Does it spot the pixel? No! My lord, what a turn of events for Underground here. They're going to have to send... No, they don't even send a drone deeper. I do not believe that they know of Logic's position right now.
They have an inkling already. Look at the sheer abundance of the drones again. 2 people about to go in for the push. The RC7 is there. Oh, does he spot? Does he see that? No, now spotted, now found out. He needs to start draining the time. He needs to get out, and he will be probably getting out. Oh my God! The master of a getaway actually dips out scot-free. And half a round of a timer. Completely drained, which is huge here for Odium.
The Fast and the Logic Tokyo Drift, a successful franchise in and of itself. He gets himself the hell out of Dodge, and, well, he might even look to push up another avenue up onto this first floor. Of course, there is options available to him.
Oh.
But yeah, look, out by the skin of his teeth.
Absolutely. Look, I mean, that was a clinical, rotation, and great job. Great job by Logic, without being able to lose any sort of HP as well. This is now only down to a minute remaining, so Underground will need to, well, pick up the pace already. Full on sending in with JPK trying to open up the door. Twent might just be able to shut things down. That's the Reterodron swing comes around. Does connect. Clean deal onto JPK.
Yeah, look, there are very few situations where you're going to win that. Plus, we are so deep into the round, these toxic canisters are going to be very, very hard to try and deal with. He tucks himself in towards Laundry, might even get to the B site itself. Those toxic canisters are going to be a right nuisance, and the push coming from Big Tower Stairs. If he can get a good canister up, this push is completely nullified. It's going to be nice and deep, pushing the attackers on, but it's a walk through. 2 for Eddie. Once again, just eating up the plate that his team feeds him, and they've got to push through Laundry. Supreme in a bit of trouble. Twent as well will go down to ML, but they know where these final 2 players are. The push Logic unfortunately caught, but Supreme for 1. It's traded again. The numbers game works for Odium, and a 3rd round on the board.
That did get rather close, though, I gotta say, for Odium, as they had the 2v4, or 2v5 initially, then it all kind of dwindled down to 2v1, and slightly dangerous moment there, but look, Odium still managed to claim themselves around, so 3v1 is still very much a great run for the defending team currently, but there's still 2 more points to procure. Whether it's going to go into making it a 3-3 scoreline for Underground, or whether it's going to be a 4-2 or 5-1 for Odium, well, it still remains to be seen, given that, whilst, yes, scoreline says that Odium are in domination, the gameplay so far has been kind of going back and forth, I gotta say.
But the thing is, Cthulhu, this is a game of absolutes. You either win or you lose. There's no in between. There's no ties. So it really doesn't matter how many people are alive or how much they have, health they have at the end of the round. If you win, you win.
Absolutely.
So, 100% Odium can keep playing the numbers game. Eddie, with a cheeky little artiller claw, is going to be trying to bamboozle his opponents. But how often do you send a nade down there below? So the information should be there.
I think it's more so the fact that they will try to have the proximity nade, say, around the actual window in the play, which I think might just be able to not reach actual artillery electric claw. So unless they try to nade it from down below, this is where they will be able to rid of it. But it's still
a question of perception.
Yeah, a question of perception, yeah, is probably the best way to really describe this. I'm liking, again, Logic on that solo crusade, but it's a very far away, very extended. So it's not kind of that mid-close by to the side still. It's very much kind of where he won't be expected. And this is a perfect timing because, again, UG are starting to get a little bit complacent with their drones. And this is where Logic could really catch them off guard.
Oh boy, he's just crouch walking up, and he was complaining about the crouch walk nerf.
Well,
unfortunately, he
gets to enjoy
luckily
this.
for him, he gets to enjoy and revel in it for the moment. When the new season comes around, he may not be so lucky, and he is. He's just slowly crouching his way towards MML. Supremacist as well might find him. MML is between 2 very, very powerful players right now in the fragging department. The swing Supremacist somehow avoids disaster. Do they call in support? Do they get Logic to come in? But no, Logic is just tucked into the corner, Zuve!
No.
Check your corners! Supremacist finds Eraser as well. It's all coming apart. They find one back, but it's an Oryx.
It is an Oryx, in fact, but it's MML pushing into the side. He already finds 2 out of a blue. It's a triple for MML. Finds another one. He sees the flying over Logic. 2v3, all of a sudden the defense on the back foot. No, Logic lines up another headshot, and all of a sudden Sawyer, oh no, he falls, 2v1. So Logic needs to get back onto the side, already spotted out. No, the MX4 does not save him. JPK is the man of that round.
Majestic had taken so much damage as well, so it wouldn't have been the biggest investments to close it out in favour of Odeon. But look, hey, they're keeping things interesting right now. 2-3, 1 round remaining in the half, and Underground have the opportunity to keep that, round record accurate globally.
Oh man, this is
Supremacist is just having a snack. Yeah, you love it.
Yeah, gotta get the snack. Gotta get the nutrients and proteins and everything. Make sure to keep yourself hydrated as well, gamers. But look, I gotta say, okay, well done so far by Underground. I'm starting to see a little bit of a kind of a pattern here, Panda.
Pattern of pain?
No. On the contrary, actually, pattern of well, less of a pain actually. The moment we see MML start picking up a frag caused by to the side, he is able to capitalize off that momentum and able to keep on chaining at least 1 or 2 more kills. He done that previously on the north. On the same position, funnily enough, around the Zulu. He starts off the Crusader around Zulu, goes up the white stairs, finds already 2 angles to find another 1 or 2 frags from there. Freest triple of his life, basically, at that point. Odium, on the other hand, whilst they are playing reactively, they are continuing to send 1 by 1 by 1. Instead of, well, trying to essentially wait and set up the angles. And whilst, again, easier said than done, it's something that White Stairs has been kind of that point of a bit of a weakness previously.
He's keen for it. The drone comes in and he will have to vacate, unfortunately. Yeah, look, you respect the aggro peak. Unfortunately, it is not to be, especially, in the competitive siege sphere. Very rarely will you get away with something like that. Drone game on point for Underground denies them the opportunity.
Drones galore though for UG. And finally we do see a very extended push from down below as well from them. So possibilities of making this a 3-3 scoreline are very much real. Now the moment that the sledge will come through downstairs will be the danger. And found, caught with his pants down. Perfect timing by Zuve as well. As we were talking about the patterns from UG, they are the ones that spotted patterns on the side of Odium's roam game, and Logic punished very severely.
Yeah, all 4 players remaining for Odium upstairs on the site itself. Eddie there as well. Looking to play a very concerted and concentrated defensive line. Supremacists in games looking for that impact trick if they can make it happen. There's no breach now other than that impact trick.
Setting up a sequential flash activated.
Indeed, already Ace Charge is starting to go down. And Supreme hoping to reach, no, actually can't reach at all. Neither of those does deal some damage to Majestic. But at this point, already all the utility has been utilized. Both of the impacts are done. Ed Pando does manage to equalize the player count. There is one more about to swing from the armory doors. Oh, Eddie on the swing needs to bail out the same position where Logic dies, but this time no Zuve to watch over that drop. Eraser drops Sawyer. Now 4v3, minute 13 to go. There's still plenty of opportunities for Underground to take, but so can be said about Odium. But are they prepared about the flank game? There's one on Zulu. That could be the deal breaker.
The rest of them are above Eddie right now, or the drop down. He's got so much to work with, but if he gets spotted by this player blue, it could all be over. 1 more nano boost remaining. He heads up, spots the rotate, finds the kill at the cost of a significant portion of his health. Eddie for 2, that's his 3rd in the round. And all of a sudden, that advantage nullified. The Claymore cleared out control of the diffuser there. They know that there is one on that game's window. Zuve hunting, trying to push in from behind. Eddie can't get himself 4, but we're down to the 2 versus 2 currently. Supremacists tucked deep into Dorm's main, and Twent in pit right now. The smoke to try and hold on 1 canister remaining, but the ping's coming through. Shotgun in hand. 1! He needs 1 more! Can he do it for the 4-2 half? Finishing off the kill. 1 versus 1 from range. Toxic canister denied. He can get out of there. He might just be able to play it. Rotates in, but no! Zuve, gun up, ready to go. Will equalize the half 3-3.
Perfect read as well. The moment he spotted the legs through the smoke, that was pretty much the fate sealed. Valiant effort from Twent, but unfortunately just maybe out big-brained himself in that sort of case. And look, yeah, 3-3 scoreline. A much more comfortable ground for Underground to now take on the second half, going on to the defense as well. And we've seen a very clean play from an Underground previously. Interestingly enough, though, no alibi for players like JPK. Eraser, though, back on the Jaeger, so he still will be able to fiend it all out. And the rest of the UG lineup is still leaning into the idea that, look, whilst majority of the roles, at least utility-wise, do present the setup of UG to be very anchor heavy, each and one of those operators could still go for a bit of a run game.
Indeed, Logic picking up that Ash for the moment. Whether or not they will be stuck out is a different story, but you can see the priority right now for Odium. Double hard breach on the board, both the Habana and the Ace. Maverick is open, should they need to go that direction, but I would imagine that they would need to. There is just so many opportunities for them to clear out the cave claws and make themselves that opening into the site. But oh my lord, what a pivot and a half. Maverick, Blackbeard and Zofia. No Ying, okay. I was going to say, you had me there for a moment, Twin.
Yeah, BB would have been curious, to say the very least, given Oregon doesn't particularly present you a whole lot of possibilities for Blackbeard to be that useful. But yeah, this is a rather spicy one, because Twent is also bringing in the secondary hard breach devices. Could pose as that, I suppose, secondary hard breacher. No. So far yet emphasis onto the hatch. Instead, it seems maybe for some of the walls it will be the play. Supremacists already on the solo push. Crusade from the small tower does present the ability for Odium to take a much quicker and a much more flexible way to clear out top down.
Yeah, Logic unleashed on this entry fragger roll for Odium Esports. He's looking to do it just that. Get in, entry, find the frags is Ash. And we've seen him on this operator before. He is lethal, he is clinical. But you look at Underground, they are hard bunkered down on the site.
Yeah, so far it's been a bit of a quieter game. MML wants to swing frag grenade in his hands. Does he hear the pin pull? Is completely unaware. Does hear the sound of, well, the drone being equipped. There's a moment that, well, the push about to come around. MML still stays strong. C4 is in. No, that could connect. No, hunted down, not gunned down at all. Oh, that is tragic here for Odium, because that is, well, almost a free frag that could have been completely isolated.
They did shoot at the Nitro and deny 2 kills there, so I suppose you'll take the victories where you can right now. Sawyer looking to get the job done on the speeding hatch. It is taking a little bit longer than he anticipated, but he gets it done in the end.
Minute 20.
Minute 20 remaining. Like you said, they've made some amazing ground.
Yeah, that is good time. For this kind of push, for the way how it's been performed, it's been great so far. Oh, the frag grenade could have been big. Just a few seconds prior to that, Eraser getting the better of Twent, though, means that things are not looking particularly too clean. Though, the boiler position has been slowly cleared out. There's still some presence in the freezer hallway, but no drones to confirm that very said location. So, face check might just be in the play, but complete rotation out of that. No pressure at all. Frag grenade to try to re-clear the boilers, as the time has been wasted quite plentifully here by Underground and Odium both together. And Odium still expecting to have the play happening around the Harry Potter, but instead it's a very rudimentary, very basic hold that will be serving Underground quite well. Majestic out. In comes the push from Supremacist. Does he spot the position at the elbow? No, instead he chokes on that swing. Eraser finds one. Does get the refrag. 2v2. Do they know about the positioning from behind? Eddie needs to be very clinical on his play as the rotation's starting to come.
Drop down E-box and the player in elbow as well. Looking to rotate back to the plant is good. Sawyer falls to Zuve. Eddie with the LMGE has to go big. Mouse 1 does go huge. He's got 33 rounds in, so the regular mag size for him. The diffuser is planted in a great spot for him as well. 1 Claymore raining, but it's too little too late. The Jiggle Peak, he's going to look for the kill. He gets the kill onto MML and Zuve. Odium will kick off the half with a victory.
Alrighty, Eddie, still fired up, knows exactly how many bullets needed to continue the crusade. And look, Odium, okay, back onto the feed, but again, it was a little bit of a scrappy performance, I have to say. Very intense, though, matchup between the two teams. And look, when the map is a comfort ground for both of them, you expect the scoreline to be close, and well, this is as close as one can get. 4-3. Odium so far, I mean, feeling pretty comfortable to a certain degree.
Defenders protect your bombs from being,
or at least they're comfortable to allow themselves to push and kind of face check the positions on site without any sort of drones, without any sort of extra utility dump. So that does kind of count at least for something for Odium, given that they basically trying to assimilate the playstyle that to a certain degree Underground were trying to impose.
Yeah, right now Odium going to make a bit of a pivot. Twent rather than the Ying, it will be a Twitch instead. So they want to be able to clear out some of that utility from longer range if they possibly can, which, I mean, they actually know the pivot once again linear, in fact. There's going to be a Flores, it seems, for Twente instead of the Twitch, which I'm surprised we haven't seen as much of it played as we have on Oregon.
I mean, with the recent changes and with the fact that really Twitch kind of, to a certain degree, kind of received a bit of a what felt like shadow buff, really, with the with her F2, it kind of makes a little bit more sense because not only you get a good drone operator that is able to clear out some of the electronic utility, you also get a phenomenal gun in form of F2, arguably one of the highest DPS guns in the game as well, bar maybe the AK-12 and the R4C. But yeah, look, Twitch, a little bit too flexible right now compared to Flores, but Flores does allow a little bit more of a, how should I call this, a little bit more of a comfortable way of getting rid of some of the chunks of utility. So I suppose the trade-off is there for just the comfort ground, and well, it seems like it's more so a lean towards the utility side of the problem solving.
Well, I mean, comparatively, it's what, pistol to rocket launcher almost. One can clear out utility shooting it, the other one blows it the hell up. So, I mean, I'm excited to see what they have planned to clear out this utility, especially knowing that there is a mute on the board, so they're going to have to get a little bit creative around some of it. And you'd have to imagine they figured out some of those cheeky little angles, positions, parkour spots that you can make these Flores drones go to work. Right now, Sawyer, his job is quite evident. That meeting hatch once again.
Meeting hatch that was basically the entry point for the whole of Odium. Make it a play. Flores drone is already there, trying to close out the distance and force out the position from the boilers. Should make things rather a bit more spicier, albeit no extra pressure from the tower stairs, no pressure yet around the freezer stairs, which does call for a bit of a, I guess you could call it question mark. Supremacists on the drone could be pushed by MML here rather convincingly, but in comes the swing with the LMG. Could be rather big, but unfortunately no connection just yet.
Attackers recovered the
Supreme goes through. Tim is going to find the down onto MML. Does he have enough to confirm it? Yes, he does. Also has that last nano boost remaining. A lot of them committed early into the round, unfortunately. Will leave Supreme at the health he's at currently. Logic wants to go for the play here. Wants to make a push down into E-Box if he can. Supremacist on the rotate, just crouching his way down Laundry Stairs for the moment. Wants to see the angle, spots the magnet, but Trigger Discipline kicks in. Play close right. Unfortunately, Majestics will find the kill. Logic in for one. There are big kills going across the board. Eddie from long range finds one as well. Majestic answers back though. It's a big swing from Eddie once again, and he single-handedly cuts the site in half.
Eddie saw some of the last performances of Underground with JPK fiending on the LMG and said, hold my beer. I'm about to give you a masterclass of how to do it all.
You mean hold my kettle. Eddie and his kettle, a love story like no other.
Well, there is a saying for hold my beer, but yeah, you are correct. The kettle is certainly a much better analogy here. But look, I mean, 5-3. Odium starting to regain momentum yet again. Kesdom's and main hole is going to be, though, the next, well, effort ground for Underground to try to halt the whole advancement so far from Odium. And with only 2 rounds remaining for Odium, they could really close this all out in, well, a 7-3, 7-4 scoreline rather convincingly. I mean, so far their performance has been rather clinical. Supremacists kind of slotted in really well with the rest of the roster. So it's been a rather promising time here.
Yeah, I mean, Supreme's early investment into this matchup has really propelled Odium to the spot they currently find themselves in. So it's like I said, it's good to see him finding his forever home. Hopefully it is his forever home. We get to see more of him playing under the Odium banner in the remainder of the year. But right now, Odium have a job to do, of course. Here in the 9th, they want to get map point on the board. They want to attack the storms as cleanly as possible. And we see Sawyer bringing the Ying back.
For Sawyer has been an interesting one, albeit we've seen the Ying on Twente previously. So a bit of a switch in the roles between the players within the roster has been quite good to see that they can boast that sort of flexibility between each other. But an interesting setup by UG does pose that they want to have a little bit more of a ground to hold on to before they give it away. So decent idea there, given that it's been kind of a one-man adventure for Supremacists for the majority of the matchup, at least on the attacking side. So I'm curious if that is kind of the aim for UG, to kind of catch him off guard on one of those roams and, well, at least shut down the flank play for Odium.
Time to make a new door.
Exothermic, prepped and ready, but it's Eddie who needs to clear things out from below before they can actually commit to it. Mute Jammer should be dealt with, and there it is. In fact, Exothermic out, Logic on the drone, spots a player over towards Connector, Zulu potentially, and, well, we'll force that player off for the moment, but Odium, they've done the steps they need to start this push off. Wardrobe open, nice and wide. They can make the push into game should they make that call.
Exactly. Already, one of the positions has been completely isolated, though presence from down below could be rather deadly. I say that though neither of the operators have the nitro cells. It's only Zuve that does have it in his pocket still, but already plenty of breaches have been done, though Supremacist taking his sweet time to clear out the positions. Almost coordinated secondary hard breach, and with Majestic out, that is a big opener here for Twente and co.
That is truly unfortunate, and it's a key gun off the board as well. They're setting themselves up for this push with a minute remaining. They've got Addict, they've got Walk-In, they've got Eddie playing the double window as well. They are covering their bases. Hell, even Supremacist is down in the small tower looking to push, I would imagine, up top white stairs.
No frag grenades though.
No frag grenades, but fraggers! Logic! What a crisp snap to the head of MML. It's going to be answered back, unfortunately, as Twente as well falls. Sawyer jumps in, Nitro to confirm the kill, so it wasn't as effective or efficient. Logic pushing in for JPK, and Zuve tucked into a corner with limited options to his name. Logic on the plant. What does Zuve do? He's going to have to rotate around. Pre-fire is going to give away the game. They now know that he is in kids' dorms. The push to ankle spotted. Zuve is just copping shots left, right, and centre. Logic, hell, he even gets the diffuser down and finds the kill.
The one-man army, it seems, so far. Logic able to just completely frag it all out and test the crouch button as well. So far, so good. Match point, though, for Odium does signal now for a lot more problems for Underground, as one perceived it to be initially. 6-3. I mean, we've talked initially how this could be a really tight matchup, but the fact that Odium day in and day out during the whole group stage were able to perform really, really well on Oregon does sort of kind of paint a whole new picture for their whole progression throughout LPL Pro Season 1 of this year, and it's been a rather impressive one.
You know what the wild thing is? So going into playoffs, there are 4 teams. The 3 other teams in playoffs with Underground are the teams that have beat them so far this season. Does not bode particularly well. It's going to be interesting going with that best-of-3 format. But I mean, Odium, they've had a couple ups and downs throughout the season. But I mean, the last couple of weeks, everything that we're seeing from them, they are hitting their form once again. They're gearing themselves up for the next stage of nationals and to win this whole competition.
Absolutely. Yeah, look, Underground kind of started things off really well during this whole group stage, but slowly but surely started kind of slipping away, which is, I mean, all part of the, supposed learning experience, and, you know, their winnings have still been rather formidable, all things considered. Curious, yeah, how will they really handle themselves in the whole gauntlet of BO3s, because I'm not too sure if EVO presented them with the possibility of even playing the BO3s, or at least frequent BO3s. So, honestly, I'm curious / excited for what would Underground be able to present, whether they will be able to even withstand the whole, you know, the gauntlet of that endurance run. But for now, let's focus up on what possibly could be the final round of Odium versus Underground, which so far Odium, I mean, been taken rather well.
Man, Logic, he's wasting no time. He's already ready to push in. Oh my lord, a razor. Imagine getting caught with your pants down, catching a drone, and then catching these hands. Logic, surely the freest frag of his career.
Yeah, surely Logic doesn't peek around. Nick Moment peeks around and finds his own demise. Yeah, look, a rather quiet game from Eraser, I have to say, which is usually rather unfortunate. But interestingly enough, Odium kind of giving a taste of their own medicine to Underground with the sheer just abundance of those kind of pre-placed drone setups that have been so far just oh so beautiful.
Unfortunately, they do lose Sawyer to MML, who cops a bit of punishment on his own. They look to start to get things underway, but spotting JPK lurking his way up Armory stairs. Do they have any idea? Twente is going to have to hit the shot of his life if he wants to contest this, but no! Somehow manages to accidentally bait JPK into firing, and JPK just dips out of there. He knows he's been spotted.
Dips out completely. All of the ADSs have been drained out, so that should be able to completely clear that utility out. Twent, though, does finally fall to the hands of JPK. Supremacist is able to retrieve the diffuser. This is still very much workable. Plenty of pressure and presence around. No, ADSs eat one up. Does it eat two up? No, it doesn't. The swing might just come around, and oh, Majestic nails Sawyer. 4v2, 4v1, and this is not looking particularly good as Eddie is the last man standing with the LMG. Not much he can do either. And that's a 4th point for Underground.
2 more to take us to overtime. It is possible. They were locked in. It is possible, but we say no. Unfortunately, you have angered the casting gods, and we will smite you with our wrath. Down to the basement, though, which was in round 7 and 8, won by Odium, which that's a risky call.
A bit of a risky call, but I mean, keep in mind, one of those rounds was won off the back of the clutch from Eddie. So the general push has been shut down relatively well. The second one didn't particularly really bode too good for Underground either, but theoretically you could chalk it to 1.5 round success there for Odium on this very side. So there's still some hope for Underground, and I don't think they would be far from being out of this yet. So I suppose wait and see is once again the call, at least for us, Blue Panda.
Let's see how it goes. Unfortunately, that's sort of how everyone has to go. But I mean, the bad news is Cthulhu, of course. Yes, Eddie clutched up that round, but he's also in this round. So he's also on the LMGE of the Zofia. So who's to say history won't repeat itself? Right now, though, we see last minute shuffle twin onto the Habana over to Flores. They're about to kick it off there. This is the Odium campaign to close the map before OT.
It's down to them to find their own win, and so far it was their momentum that kind of brought them to this very position. Unfortunately, last round didn't particularly bode too well. MML will have the position to really hit a crack shot here, but instead it's a gunfight of Supremacists against a Jaeger, I believe, of Eraser. So right now, slowly but surely, Underground are taking a really good ground to really start pressing Odium quite nicely. Eddie. Oh, Eddie. Oh, Eddie. A lot of trouble, a lot of damage dealt, but no finisher on either one of the sides. Very tagged on both ends. And so the Thinkables should still be able to keep Eddie alive. As a matter of fact, it was the only thing that kept the Zofia player alive. A mid-gunfight boost has been working out rather well. Now, the push coming around, it's, the swing, Eraser. Needs to be very careful. The pressure is there. Unfortunately, Supremacist does get the better of MML, and more damage has been dealt to Eraser. Forced to fall back, and the damage is permanent. No Thunderbird either on the defense.
MML was so focused on the attic hatch that Supreme just walks in, finishes him off before he can even react. Yeah, Eraser taking so much damage, not even landing a single shot onto Logic in that engagement. The two lowest players on the board, on the server, in close proximity. Floors apart, though, unfortunately. We hit the halfway mark of the round of 5-4. Sawyer looking to get their hatches done once again on the job. I mean, you've got two key parts of the puzzle. Okay, he's going to go for the nade attempt on the Artilla Claw instead.
Pretty sure it actually just worked out, so that's all good and nice and solid. Sawyer will do the very same trick. No, it's actually going to be just a proper actual Maverick trick on the second hatch, but so far good timing. I mean, still a minute remaining for Odium, albeit only one player out of the equation. Won't particularly bode too well given the fact that, Underground players are rather cracked. Spot for the chassis position as well, coming out from the drone. So far so good. Plenty amount of information, 12 rounds. Nope, quick reload, quick cheeky reset on the ammo count. Frag grenade non-existent in the hands of Sawyer. That could have been the one to really clear out the position around the around the boilers, but in we go, full push.
Logic is in, Sawyer dropped. They know the player pillar is there. Sawyer will be put on the ground. Supremacists as well, killed, and flurrying ensued. Unfortunately, though, Eddie's still on the job. He finds two. Sawyer finished off by the toxic canisters. Eddie sees the rotate. He has the angle. They need to get in and get that diffuser down. They will look to clear out some of that utility. The shield now gone. Backs against the wall, and a Razor not healthy. Zuve, that's the headshot you need. Logic down as well. Twent to clutch up. He finds a Razor. He's got 5 seconds to either go for the plant or find the kill. But they've rotated out. He's got to go for the plant. He's got to make it happen. Zuve, does he know where it is? Yeah, he does. Around the chassis and Twent, he saves the KD.
Unfortunate result there by Odium, given that they had the push, they had the momentum. Unfortunately, just stalled out at the wrong possible time. The shot from Zuve as well, I have to say, that was a clean spray as well across the hallway with the SMG-11 nonetheless as well against the holding LMG. Well, didn't particularly help in his case, and so, well, 5-6 scoreline. Once again, back to the very close scoreline. One more round for Underground. We see OT. One more round for Odium, and we wrap it all up in yet another team beating Underground. So there's still a number of outcomes that could come out of all of this whole, I suppose, well, fiesta of absolute frags. As I believe the shotgun of Zuve nearly just took away the leg of Majestic, but not to happen.
Almost a one-legged Cade. Not to be though. We go to meeting and kitchen. The final round of regulation. Keratos in the hands of a Razor will claim a drone there. But it looks like there are limited drones remaining to the side of Odium. A lot of them already lost in the early portion of this drone and prep phase. Soy though is going to pivot. Spots out that it is meeting hall and kitchen, and they will go for a Nomad over the Maverick.
Nomad over the Maverick.
5 seconds to insertion.
An interesting one. Given that, well, technically you still have the Havana, so it's all very much still workable, still able to pick up whatever games you really want to. So, look, there's still possibilities of going around it and making it happen. Question being is, will Odium be able to clean it all up? Because we've seen the same pattern in the first half. We've seen quick clean, kind of 2-pointer / 3-pointer from Odium, and then Underground gain back the lead, make it a 3-3. Same thing here. 3 rounds in a row for Odium, push it to match point, and then Underground start their kind of return to 4. So, question being is, do they break the stigma? Do they break the run in this way around? Because Logic is already on double digits, which has been big. Supremacist just scored his own double digits, now being a 10-10. Eddie has been on 14-5. Panda, nearly a 3 KD so far for the man as well. So it's been huge, and already goes big. MML and Majestic out of the play.
Sawyer's drone as well, spots a player bottom of White Stairs. The Supremacist is going to look to try and deal with him right now. Goes to the priest fires, anticipating some aggression from Eraser, but it's not to be. My God, Twent, what a shot there from the support main himself. JPK unawares. It looks like it will be a flawless to close the map, and it will at that, Cthulhu. Odium take the win and deny Underground once again.
Game over, man. It's game over for Underground. A thorough cleanup play, 7-5, and look, well done. Well done.
Look, it was big stuff. They let it go a little bit longer, you know, wanted to create the content as Odium does, but 16-5 for Eddie by the end of the map. I mean, he's just a numbers guy. That's why he was the head-to-head matchup. He is just an absolute gunner.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely a gunner. Eddie, Logic, and the whole team, actually. And Supremacist being able to kind of come to his own terms, being that kind of one-man army, has been really, really great. And look, yeah, I gotta say, starting things off the way how he did on round number 1, my goodness, that was great.
Yeah, even round number 2, he shut down JPK once again. You know, he's going for a bit of high noon with the revolver play. But, I mean, Underground, they did find their moments in the match. Obviously, we had full regulation time by the end of it, so it wasn't a complete shutout. Underground had some real shiner moments, but on the most part, it was dominated and determined momentum-wise by Odium.
Yeah, look, momentum and the general talk about momentum for Odium has been a rather interesting one because given that they've managed to accumulate a good momentum, they still ended up allowed it to kind of slip a few times, but overall, still it shows that they kind of managed to, you know, finally put in a little bit more, I suppose, effort towards researching their teams, and once they do, they manage to really make it work.
I mean, this is just Odium showing their true colours. They're a team that has, I mean, they were relegated. They were relegated out of Nationals, a team disbanded, they then came back in, and the season they came back in, they finished second. So why was there doubt that they weren't going to come up and perform today? The only match they have to care about currently, and of course they did just that. Maybe playing with your food a little bit, but they get the job done. Let's have a chat with the man of the moment. It's Logic coming in from Odeon. Now look, mate, it's been a while since the two of us got to chat with you. You've had a hell of a road. You've come a long way. What's it like playing with Odium?
It's a lot different, hey. Different to what I'm used to anyway, being in Challenger League, and it's obviously a lot different for Supremacist, who has been in two absolutely terrible rosters. So yeah, definitely a different dynamic. We definitely try a lot harder. We talk a lot different to each other, and we're always just trying to get better.
Right, fair enough. Look, I mean, going into the matchup against Underground, they've already managed to show a couple of quite spooky games, but given some of the previous turnouts, say maybe on Theme Park, have there been any sort of concerns for you guys, or has it been just kind of usual day in the office kind of deal?
Oh no, those guys are terrible. We looked at every other game they played, and we were like, we were actually considering just forfeiting tonight. We were like, what's even the point? I don't know.
Yeah, right.
I'm actually embarrassed that I'm going to go tell Cairo when he finishes his scrims that we lost 5 rounds to them. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, look, I guarantee you he's probably not going to be too happy about that. But look, you're in the playoffs. You're locked in top 4. Is there even anyone that you're that concerned about going into the playoffs?
Oh, for sure. Well, I don't know. I think the biggest problem that we're having right now is, we're prepping for our OCN stage, and it's really hard. We come into these games, we're not allowed to show strats and stuff, and Sawyer's absolutely hoarse with that strats. So I don't know. Team 7 for sure, they can win gunfights. Sawyer, and for that reason, I guess them. Every other team, not really. I don't know. They just kind of play like rats. It is what it is.
Look, Logic, it's great to being able to talk to you again in the interview booth. We'll let you head off in just a moment, though. Before you do, anyone you'd like to shout out?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out my teammates for, showing up today and, winning the game. That's a plus, Never want to lose to those guys. That'd be a real L. And I don't know, shout out to you guys for the cars. Shout out for the night. I know it's been rough, only 2 games instead of 4. So, and, shout out to LPL as well.
Look, we'll let you head off. Cthulhu, what a way to end the round robin. Look, he a straight shooter, a straight talker. He lays it as it is.
Yeah, look, I mean, gotta respect the the fact that he was upfront with all of his statements. And look, I mean, fair enough. When Odium were able to put up this kind of a show, look, it's all nice and chill for them, it seems, so far. And I mean, the introduction of Supremacist kind of worked out all perfectly well, which means that, Odium are kind of back into the swing of things. And, look, yeah, whilst they can't really reveal any sort of big brain strats, I mean, they can very safely lean into their whole fragging game quite easily.
Well, Cthulhu, shall we get into it? Let's have a look after the final play day and see how things are. The leaderboard as it stands. No changes, unfortunately. Team 7 in first, Altered Zalios in second by a single point. Odium keep third, and Underground, unfortunately, unable to climb the ladder by the end of the day. So no movement whatsoever.
Yeah, look, it's all nice and clean so far, but it does pose us with a really nice set of playoffs matches, which could really be extra spicy. I mean, both of the Tier 3 teams get to battle it out in a BO3 from the get-go. We do get to see the Altered Zalios battle against Odium, the battle of currently a Challenger League team versus an ex-Challenger League team. So there's a few really cool storylines starting to form up, and honestly, the Team 7 versus Underground, I'm really keen to see how will they perform in a BO3 matchup, because whereas, say, in a BO1 they were able to counter-strat for just one map, here this could be a bit of a kind of a back and forth action between the two rosters, given that as well now Underground also are very knowledgeable about the playstyle of their opponents. The
unfortunate thing being Team 7 was the team to first draw blood against Underground Esports in their LPL Pro campaign. Look, it is gearing up to be a hell of a playoffs to kick off next week, of course. And, look, you know what else is awesome? We've got a Twitter giveaway. We've got credits to give away. And our winner is going to be Karma. I like Warden being able to see through Sen's ability because it makes him a viable pick in ranked.
I mean, that's fair. That's a fair point.
This is comp, Karma. Come on, man. But look, it also is going to play there. I mean, look, no quarantine. Sen's going to be in play. So ranked, competitive, it both works as well. Look, it's exciting. I'm super excited to see it.
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen how powerful Warden was today in context of the Cafe Dostoevsky, the way how Altazelian really played it all out. So, I mean, well played. And yeah, look, congratulations, Karma, for being able to acquire the credits as well. And look, yeah, I'm even more keen now for the next operation and the way how will Warden be able to slot himself into the meta as well.
Look, it's not the only thing that slots itself right in. If you want yourself an excellent gaming keyboard, Roccat has the Magma Membrane RGB keyboard. Make sure you check it out if you're in the, in the realms looking for some peripherals as well. Honestly, a full Roccat kit is pretty clean. The RGB is nice, the headset's comfortable, and it will get the job done when it comes to playing the game. Cthulhu, we are done. Regular season over. It is all best of 3s and best of 5s here on out. We need to crown a champion, but before we sign off, what's your call? Who wins it? Who takes playoffs?
That's a tall question. I'm gonna go with Odium here. Odium first, Altazelius second.
Well, you're going to have to come back next week to find out. There are 3 teams looking to prove Cthulhu wrong and try and take that title, of course. Next week, we kick off the semi-finals. 2 big matches, 2 best of 3s to push on to that grand finals the following week, of course. We're closing things out tonight. We'll see you next week.
Tango in my sights.
Now it's time for New Belt Nitro Singles!